All right, everybody, welcome to the Locked On Avalanche podcast. And it broke over the weekend that the Avalanche top prospect is on his way. Just might have to wait a little bit longer before he possibly gets here. New episode of Locked On Avalanche coming right at
Your Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Locked On Avalanche podcast. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for tuning in and making it your first listen of the day. Always appreciated. I am Chris Maselli. With me, as always, Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. Make sure to follow us on our social media outlets, LOPN_ on Twitter or X, if that's what they're calling it now. I have no idea. That thing with the bird, the icon that has the bird. Follow us on that. Locked On Avalanche on Instagram and Threads.
Forever Threads.
Forever Threads. Send questions, comments, concerns, and opinions, lockedonavalanche@gmail.com. And follow us on our YouTube channel over on YouTube. Hit subscribe, get notified when a new show goes live, and definitely subscribe to our subtext. Link to that is in the show notes below. Subscribe and chat with Kyle and I one-on-one. Well, it is the off-season, Kyle, so we will be getting into what we've been doing for the offseason in terms of what we like to, right over there on our rundown. So things we've been watching, things we've been playing, things we've been listening to, whatever we do, things we need to, this is where we like catch up on what we couldn't do because the regular season just takes up so much time. So these things that go on the back burner, what are we watching? What are we playing? What are we doing right now? We will get to some over-under, and that is, we're going to throw out like 4 players every time we do this, and what we think their point total will be. We'll throw out a number if we think it's going to go over or under for that. But where we will start today, sir, is, like I said in the open, Nikolai Kovalenko, who is, I think, hands down the Avalanche top prospect, playing over in the KHL. It's always been, we're thinking possibly this year, at the latest next year, he would be coming to the Avalanche. Well, a lot of Avalanche news channels were reporting that they are expecting to sign him, and all I kept saying was soon, and with the expectation that he's going to play the season over there and then come back to the Avalanche when that season is over, which usually is in March. So the signing, we don't know what it is yet. We'll have to wait for that. I don't know what soon means. Soon could be tomorrow. Soon could be a month from now. That's still, both of those are soon. But either way, I should be done before the season starts. And then he'll play his season over there in Russia and then come over here, which will be a very interesting time for when he's expected to come here. If it is, when that season is over, mid-March-ish. So we'll start there and kind of what it means for the Avs. Not what we expect from him. We'll get into that stuff later. But just if that's when it's happening, is March, that's around trade deadline. That's when you're making your final push. He is their number one prospect. Are we expecting him to just come over, slot right in, and away you go? It's exciting news, but it's also like there's still a lot of questions that we got to answer here.
Yeah, especially with Kovalenko. There's this, ever since the Avs drafted him, there's been this hype that surrounds him. He's always been that, but yet,
now there's hype, but
there's been that little bit of hype. But this last year, he almost became a point per game player in the KHL. So it's almost like see this guy we've been telling you about. He's now there.
He's taken off, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now there's this optimism around the team, and he's going to be joining you. When you were saying soon, all I kept thinking about was the Mikko Rantanen contract signing and how that was going to be soon. And that took all of training camp. And that was a bad flashback.
Yeah, that was fun.
He's going to be making a debut the same time around when Ben Myers did, if I'm not mistaken, in that point of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Myers came in a little bit later. I think Myers came in. There's only like 5 or 6 games left in the regular season. This could be maybe only like twice that amount. It's not going to be a ton.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I mean, people are kind of anointing him as like the Avs like Kaprizov. You know what I mean? Like that's what he's carrying right now. And he is like, I mean, he wasn't like highly touted in the draft, but he's made a name for himself. And now, you know, the Avs have this guy that could, and all these moves that we're saying like they haven't been making, they've probably known this is happening for a little while now. So they don't want to go right up against the cap, because if they have to sign him and put him under it, now, but then you sign him and then you have to wait, and it's a waiting game. So again, I don't want to get into like he all I can really watch from him is highlights.
Yeah.
That's all you can really see. Like I can't watch a full KHL game. I just can't do it. So, but what you see, you like. You have no clue how it's going to translate to the NHL. We have to wait and see. So I don't know. I don't want to be that guy just that once he gets here, you slot him in, which they will do. They probably will do that right off the bat, and see what they have for the remainder of that season. But I'm not just going to the extent of like, oh, once he gets here, he's slotted into the lineup and it's a home run.
Yeah.
The potential is obviously there, incredibly there. He's like a 3-tool player. He can do everything you want him to do. But I don't want to get to the excitement level of let's just get him and then we'll make a run for the playoffs. No, this team should be setting themselves up for a playoff run minus him. And if he comes in and helps, great. Fine.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm hoping. I hope this is, and you hope the Avalanche aren't in a position when he does arrive in potentially March where they need him. This isn't one of those things that you're counting the days for. You hope the Avs could just kind of take Kovalenko, throw him on that fourth line for a game or 2 or 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. You just really see how that game translates to the NHL game.
Right.
And I mean, let's be real here. He has potential. He has a lot of potential. And with this team, the quote unquote Avalanche effect, there's a lot of things that could possibly happen with Kovalenko. And this is something that scouts have been looking at as he's been developing his game. So it's exciting, but you hope this isn't something like you mentioned, like with the moves, they haven't come up to the cap yet because they're anticipating this move. Let's also hope when the trade deadline rolls around, they're not anticipating Kovalenko as a piece of this to work around trades because of this Kovalenko guy.
Yeah, and they're not going to trade him. That's not. Yeah. But it is going to be interesting when he comes here. Is it going to be before that? If it's going to be before the trade, and what do they need? And because I don't know the exact date and when that season ends, right? So if it's before it, and you bring him in and see what you have, I think that maybe works a little bit better. If it's after the trade deadline, do the Avs then get kind of like, a little bit standoffish on the trade deadline? It's like, well, we don't want to make too many moves because we have this guy coming.
That's exactly it.
You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to watch how this all plays out. Now, one guy that they still don't have signed that's still remaining is Ben Myers. And you did mention him a couple minutes ago, but I don't know what's taking so long for a Ben Myers signing. Maybe it's just the fact that he's restricted. He doesn't have arbitration rights, and it'll get done. And they're like, yeah, I mean, there's no rush to do this because it's not like he's going to break the bank for them. But I'm just sitting here thinking like, let's just get it done. So pretty much your roster is more or less completed. You can go sign another guy if you need to, but this whole Kovalenko thing throws a wrench into that maybe. I don't know why this is taking so long just to get done, because it's going to come in under $1 million for however many years he signs. Just finish it. Just finish it. Let's move on, please.
You wonder what's going on there. And honestly, Avalanche fans could just throw up their hands and say, oh, he's probably injured. They're probably working something out there. I mean, you never know, but you would like to see it done. You would like to, honestly, you'd like to have this Kovalenko news, knowing the team is wrapped up. You have everybody pretty much signed and you're ready to go for the next season. Oh, and Kovalenko. But this Myers thing, it's gone a little longer than anticipated. Definitely. And it's been radio silence.
It's been radio silence for everything Avalanche. Like this Kovalenko stuff that came out, it didn't even come from the Avs.
Yeah.
It was deciphered in a text message or a tweet. Or an X. What are we calling those things now? An X?
It's on social media.
Yeah. From the league over there, or the team that he plays for, I think, and they just threw it into Google Translate, and that's what we got. So you're not even getting that from the team, but it has everything right now. And that's really across the board in the NHL. Everything is just slow moving right now. So any bit of information is fun to get for guys like us, but I don't know. The Myers thing is a little bit of a head scratcher. And the only thing I can think of is, like you're saying, like it's either there's no rush to do it because we know we can just, it's a simple conversation, I would think, and you can get it done. Or is it bigger than that? And they are having like second thoughts. And if they even want to sign him to a deal, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But where we're going to go from here is, like we said, we'll throw out some guys and point projections, and we'll see if we think they're going to go over or under that number. But first, we are going to hear from our friends over at Athletic Greens. So our next partner is AG1, the daily foundational nutrition supplement that supports whole body health. And my routine with Athletic Greens is drinking it in the morning. Get up, do my daily routine, have my morning breakfast. On my way to work, got my bottle of Athletic Greens and AG1. I don't know. Do you have a similar routine, Mr. Sullivan?
I alternate between doing it in the morning, and if I don't do it in the morning, I'll do the daily pack, and I'll take it at work.
Ooh, very nice. Very nice. So you see a lot of great athletes are getting in on the AG1 fix right now. Why? Because they take care of their bodies. And it's a huge part of that starts with optimizing whole body health. And what does Athletic Greens do? It supports your gut health. And as you go along in life, the gut is what you got to take care of more than anything else. So you cover your nutritional bases for the day, and it literally could not be any easier. They give you the scoop, and it's a nice metal scoop too. It's not that like plastic metal. It's nice heavy duty scoop that you one scoop in morning water or afternoon water or night water. And you're absorbing all of those vitamins and minerals. It's delicious too. It's a comprehensive solution, is what you need from your supplemental routine. Then try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs, which Kyle brings with him, with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1, that's the number one.com/NHL network. Once again, drinkag1.com/NHL network. Check it out. You will thank us, and so will your gut. All right. So we did last week. We kind of threw out. We did McKinnon, Makar, Mikko, and then we did. I think it was Druin and Johansson. We kind of just guessed on what their point totals would be. Why not continue that, good sir? And we'll do it a little bit different. We got 4 guys here. We got Val Nichushkin, Lehkonen, Sammy G, and Devon Toews. And I'll throw out a number to you, and then we'll kind of think if they're going to be over or under that number. I'm going to get it fancy too, because usually when you do over under, you have to do the 0.5 too. You have to throw out the 0.5. So for Val Nichushkin, his career high, do I have the right one up here? Yes, I do. Val Nichushkin's career high was in 21 and 22 with 52 points total. Last year, only played 53 games, and those 52 points were in 62 games, so he missed 20 games. Last year, 53 games, 47 points. So if he stayed healthy, he would have blown past that. So I submit to you an over-under for Val Nichushkin, 67.5. What do you think for that?
67.5
points.
That would be an under.
You think he's going under that?
I think this is going to be another one of those years where he's bouncing around the low 40s.
Whoa, on a second line?
Yes.
Really? Wow. Okay.
And this isn't a production thing. I wonder if the health thing is going to be a year-to-year thing with Val.
You don't know. I know he had the foot problems last year. And then, the situation that happened in the playoffs, that is what it is. But for the regular season, you do want him to stay healthy. That is absolutely true. The most games he's ever played in a season was 79. That was for Dallas in 2015 and 16. And then he's usually good for anywhere from mid 50s to mid 60s for a season. So he does miss time. And what I'm throwing out here is with the expectation of a full season. I can't guess that, they're going to miss games, but you could with Nichushkin.
Yeah, you can. And the thing is, every time he does go out, when he comes back, I remember every time we've ever hyped up Nuke's return, and when he comes back, he always has the most quietest game of his career in his comeback game. And then the next game is when, hey, Val's back. Hey, let's go. And the next week, it's something else. So I just feel like it's going to be, we need to kind of get used to this mid-40s production from Val because of that.
I mean, and it's all injury based, right? Because last year, 53 games played, 47 points. And like I said, the year before, 62 games played, 52 points. He was 9 games less than 62 and only 5 points away from his career high. So he would have blown past that. He would have blown past it. So you like to see that. So it's like, yeah, if you can stay healthy, you could, a second line on this team, you just have visions of Nazem Kadri all the time. Yeah. And maybe that's unfair to whoever is playing on the second line on this team, but that's what can happen. So if everything goes right and all the cards go right, he could be in that range. I would love to see it because obviously that would only help this team, but you don't know. The health is a real issue. So I'm with you. I will say under that 67.5 right now, but I think he should hit the 60s. I really do feel like he could hit the 60s. I think 40 is really, really low for him. Way too low, especially on a second line, playing a power play, hopefully.
I hope I'm wrong because next offseason that contract is going to be up for discussion.
We'll talk about that then. Artturi Lehkonen, let's see, last year was his career high, 64 games played, 51 points by a mile too. He never, his high before that was 31 in 2018, 2019. So I think a lot more is expected of him this year. So I put his over under at 71.5. What do you got for that?
You know what? I'll take that over, baby.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like this is a breakout year for Artturi Lehkonen. When everybody's looking at this superstar-laden lineup and all the new guys and everything, I really have a feeling this is going to be Lehkonen's breakout year.
Well, it could be for him simply for where everybody's for some reason is throwing Jonathan Drouin on that top line. I don't see that happening right off the bat. I just don't see it. Lehkonen is that guy. He will play a lot on that top line. And if he does that, you should see another big jump in his numbers. And that's not really expected from him, believe it or not. Like, yeah, he can score, and yeah, he has an offensive touch, but to be that driving force of an offensive player, it's like they rely on other guys on the team to do that.
Yeah.
But he might have to take a little bit more of a role in doing that this year, especially with Landeskog being out all year long. And if he is going to play on that top line, I think just by default, you are going to get some solid numbers up. So it could happen. I know that's a big jump for him, and that maybe is asking a little bit too much, but I think he can do it.
Yeah.
I think he has a solid and a stellar year. I'm going to go crazy on this one. I'm going to say, yeah, I think he goes over on that one. And that would be a big jump for him. But something that we saw, like bringing up Nazem Kadri again, he did it.
Never enough for me.
You love it. So we're both going over for that.
Yep.
All right. We'll go with Sammy G here on the next one. His high in points was last year. Forgot about that. 37 points total. He's usually in the high 20s, low 30s for points. So 37 was his career high last year. I'll give you an over-under of 38.5. Gets an extra point.
I'll take it. I feel like he's settling in, and the team around him is getting better. It doesn't matter what line he's paired up with. He's going to be getting some extra apples. And again, by default, that's going to rise.
Well, that's his game, right? Is assists. For goals, here's his career in goals by year. with Colorado. I won't do the 5 games he played in Nashville. 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6. So expect another 6 goals because that seems to be his routine here. And then expect, like 30 some assists. That's what he does. I don't know, man. Like, sure, I'll go over and he hits 40. Maybe this is his first year that he gets 40, but I don't think it's going to be, he's not that Lehkonen guy that all of a sudden is going to find some extra gear. I think points wise, and he's more than that to this team, but points wise, like this is what you're getting with Sam Girard. He's going to be mid to high 30s, and you're okay with that. You're okay with that because he's a good facilitator and with passing and transition game and stuff like that. So that's where he excels. And I think he's right around that spot.
Yeah, he's going to understand he doesn't have to go and take those go around the goal 2 or 3 times to make something happen. He's going to realize the team is exponentially better and he could facilitate more and get points that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think be right around that. That'll be close. And finally, we'll end with Devon Toews. His career high was in the 21-22 season when he had 57 points. That was in 66 games. Last year, he played 80 games and had 57 points. So 14 more games, but 7 less points. And you could argue a lot more was asked of him last year with Cale Makar missing so many games and just so many games being missed in total. And for him to play 80, it's pretty solid, right? But I will put his over-under at 63.5. What do you got for that?
I'm going to take it under just slightly.
Okay.
I just feel he's going to be like a 60 or upper 50s.
For me, like, is this going to be like a JT Comfer type of thing where it's a contract year? He's not like he needs to step up his game anymore, but pucks just seem to be going in the back of the net more, and he seems to be feeding the puck more to guys who score. You know what I mean? Like, does it just step up a little bit? It would be his first ever 60 point season, and it was a little bit of a dip for him in terms of points. It was where the biggest dip came was in goals. He went from 13 in 21-22 to 7. And the assists pretty much stayed the same, 44 in 21-22 to 43. So it's like, okay, just give us that, improve a little bit on the assist production and get back to where you were with some goal production. You got 60 points. Will he get 63? I think he might be a point or two below that. I think he can hit 60. I think he could definitely get 60. And again, he was durable last year with 80 games played, but could he get to 60? Sure. I won't go over 63 though. I think that's a little bit hefty.
Yeah.
So that's where we are.
I just don't feel comfortable going over on that one.
Agreed. What do you guys think? Throw those 4 guys out there. We'll do this again on another show. We'll add 4 more guys, but over under for those numbers that we put up for those 4 guys, fire away in the comments. Where we will go from here to end the show, wrap up the show, is it's the off season. So what are Kyle and I doing? What are we watching? What are we listening to? What are we playing? We figured we would we did this last off season too. We'd throw out some things to maybe if you guys need some things that you need to do to occupy your time in this off season. Hopefully we're here to help you do that. So feel free, throw out something that you've been, what is this? Something that you've been watching? Something. All right, go ahead. What do you got for the people?
Well, it's so much. It's how we have addressed our summer. I am a single parent, and what we have done, we have sat down this summer every night. We have got on Disney Plus and looked for movies we have not seen, and we
that they haven't seen, or you haven't seen too.
That they haven't seen. I'm well seasoned when it comes to Disney. So we go through and put everything they have not seen into a watch list, and every night we are watching something they have not seen, and we review it at the end.
What was it? What was the most recent one?
Tron.
The original Tron.
The original Tron. Yes. And they loved it.
Did they like it?
They thought it was super cool.
I always wonder with like graphics now, you know what I mean? How far they've come.
It still looks really cool.
It does. I mean, it has that cheese factor to it, but
Yeah,
it's different. It's different, and you really think like the kids who watch just nonstop like stuff that just looks like so real right now. It's like, oh, watch this movie when I was a kid. Like, what is this? Like,
yeah, they
no.
really enjoyed that.
All right, all right. If we're on the movie, I just went and saw Oppenheimer. So if first of all, I'll just say like it's a great movie. It's a great movie, but it is a movie and like it's a movie experience. Yes, it's a true story and it's about this guy's life, but you know, they Hollywooded it up in terms of like, you know, the music is incredible. The score for this, the music is like it's constantly there, but it's like you don't notice it. But then when it like amps up, it's like there are moments where the theater is just booming.
Is it Hans Zimmer?
Booming. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know who did it. Don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, I mean, I've always liked Christopher Nolan. I think my favorite Christopher Nolan movie is Memento, outside of the Dark Knight trilogy. But the Memento is kind of like what got me into like Christopher Nolan. Movie is absolutely phenomenal, and this is his style of movie. Like he took the story and went into his style of movie. If you like Christopher Nolan movies, if you like heavy dialogue movies, I can't tell you how many words were spoken in this movie. It is nonstop dialogue. And I think a lot of people maybe are going for the bomb factor. And while, yes, that's an important part of the movie, it's sure, if you want to say it's the focal point, sure, it's the focal point, but there's so much that goes on before and after. It's not like the bombs are dropped and like roll credits. It's, you know, the bombs are dropped and then there's still an hour of the movie left and everything that happened afterwards. So it's his life. It's not just focused on like, you know, building the nuclear bombs. So if you like that stuff, if you like biopics, definitely go see it. It is a 3-hour movie. Doesn't really feel like it because it's just so engaging. The guy, he knows how to make a movie. He knows how to make a movie and keep you engaged. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. So
that's on my list of things to check out.
Go check it out. What else you got?
Well, I know when you mentioned 3-hour movie, I went and saw Indiana Jones.
Is that a 3-hour movie?
It's like 2.
Is it really
2.5? It's
okay.
It's brutal. It's a good little wrap up of the Indiana Jones because I grew up as that Indiana Jones kid.
Yep.
That is filed away, put away. A nice little summer movie until all these summer movies like Barbie, which my daughter just went and saw, and now Oppenheimer, and my movie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, what is it called?
It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I've been calling it my Spider-Verse movie
because that's kind of what it looks like, right?
Yeah, it's stylized. Yes. It's exactly what I remember the Ninja Turtles looking like.
I might be going to this because my son has discovered the Ninja Turtles within the past couple months, but doesn't really watch an episode. He just wants to listen to the theme song over and over again.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, but so we went to go see the Mario movie, and they showed a trailer for it at that. No, it wasn't the Mario movie. I'm lying. It was Elemental. We went to go see Elemental, and they showed a trailer for it, and his eyes were like, they were like the sun, like beaming. He's like, "What is that?" And we're like, "That's coming out in a little bit." So he might want to go see that. I might have to go to the theater to see that. I'm with you on that. I'm gonna throw out a game that I've been playing, and this is on your smartphone. My buddy turned me onto this. It's Marvel Snap. I don't know. I think it's pretty popular. I don't really keep track of what games are popular anymore. But if you're playing Marvel Snap, let me know. I can give you my. You can play against each other, but you have to like input like a code to play against each other one-on-one. I would love to do that with anybody who's playing Marvel Snap. Let me know. And I was thinking about live streaming to the YouTube channel.
Ooh.
Me playing some Marvel Snap. So maybe that will happen.
That'd be sick.
All right. So you got any others? Or we
I was playing Marvel Snap for a while, and
yeah,
my daughter has recently got into Animal Crossings on the Switch, and we play that every night.
Really?
just like picking
man.
up weeds and
Snap
taking
is
care of
just
our
so
little city.
addicting, man. Like Snap is just like I've downloaded other games and I play them for like 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, I could have been playing Snap for 15, 20 minutes. And
Oh,
I
they
just
have
always go back to it.
They have Mighty
Always.
Doom now. It's like a
I
chibi
have that
version.
downloaded. Yes, I have that. I have not played it yet. I have it downloaded.
I can't stop. That's my thing.
That's all right. So
But I'm a Doom guy naturally.
Yeah, he's got a new book out. You see the Romero book, brand new book.
Really?
It came out. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well,
I will send it
go
to
to
you.
get a book.
All right. So anything that you guys are doing, let us know again in the comments section. And yeah, if you're playing Marvel Snap, find me and let me know what your gamer code is, and we'll play. We'll snap it. We'll snap together. All right. That's going to wrap it up for today, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in and making this your first listen of the day. We'll be back on Wednesday. It'll probably be another mailbag episode. So get ready for that. Follow us on Instagram to submit your questions for that. And then I think we are hitting the road in Chicago this week. We're finalizing that as well. But that's going to wrap it up for everybody. Thank you for making this your first listen of the day. Always appreciated. He is Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. I'm Chris Maselli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday.